as professional trade analysis and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name's Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to give you exactly that. High-level professional day trading education, all here for free right here on YouTube and X. So today was an interesting day. We really wanted the long right off the bat, right out of the gate. It didn't give us the long, so we simply had to wait for the short. If you miss the long, you wait for the short. But we're going to get into this and we're going to discuss this in detail because I did end up capturing the long later as an opportunity came up. And there's a lesson in that. So give me a sec. Let me fire up these charts and we will rock and roll, folks. I hope all of you had a great day. It was a really, really nice day today. And now that we're in the charts, let's go over the trades. So what we were looking for, even though we started to gap down below the previous close on both, that was fine because at the time, now obviously we've ran up, so it's moving that 5 EMA on the daily up. We still had protection from that 5 EMA. And one sec, I just want to check something. I hope my mic is all right here. It should be. Let me know in the chat, stream chat, if it isn't. It should be though, but okay, it must be all right. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a weird light on it. That's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm asking. So we were looking for the trade into the previous close. It's fine. It was gapping down. Like I said, we still had protection from that 5 EMA. So anytime you have a range of moving averages like that, you're generally going to trade within them. Like right now, we closed just above that 9 EMA and just below the 9 EMA on Qs. So the futures markets are gapping up as it stands right now about 5 points. So that's going to put us into the range of the 9 EMA and the 200 SMA. And that's where it's going to trade. If we get a big gap up, we're going to come into the 200 or that gap. There is a gap up there. So there are two levels we will have to watch. But then it will pull back into a natural level of support, hold or fail. And then obviously you go from there. But what we wanted today, anyways, was to take the 5 and ride it into the 9. That didn't happen. We were about to start in on SPY. SPY was very close to us starting in. One more red candle down would have got us into a comfortable level of risk where we could have started averaging into that trade, risking off of that 5. It didn't do that though. And then it simply pushed. Now, once it started pushing and it pushed through this pre-market high area, that's when it was like, okay, man, this thing is going to go straight into that 9 EMA, which is exactly what we want. Now, we missed that long, right? But there's always two sides to a trade. Support and resistance, like this is technical analysis 101. Once support tests, it will then go to resistance. Once resistance tests, it will then pull into a support level. So you can take advantage of that just out of proper dissection of technical analysis, right? So on both Qs and SPY, we both came flying on up into that 9 EMA. So let's discuss Qs first. Absolutely beautiful entries as it comes up into that 9 EMA. I am executing the 483 puts, ride it all the way down, back down. We got given a gift of it having major follow through. So on Qs alone, and I executed the exact same trade on SPY, but on Qs, I locked in $6,480 on that. And then on SPY, now SPY was a little bit different. So because Qs was testing the 9 EMA, but SPY had a little bit more distance, that's where you're seeing this first entry. This first entry on SPY was as Qs was kind of coming into its level. That's why I trade both markets, because it gives you a really good gauge to know when something is going to top out or if it has a little bit more room that it could go. So starting in with SPY, averaging in, and then once it came right into that level and Qs was right into that level as well and like topping out, that's where I applied some pressure in size. Not much on this one. When I say pressure in size, I don't always necessarily mean size. What I mean is, as it's coming in, these are very small entries because my main watch was on cues. I'm just applying more size than my initial entries. So I want to make sure that people understand that, because the P&L on this one is very low. It's 1,095 on this trade. But my main focus, money wise, and where I wanted to put my actual size, was on cues. So, like I said, locked in just under 1,100 bucks on that trade. Two exact same trades. So these trades, for those of you that might be joining us on this channel just for your very first time, these blue levels and these trades and trade plans that I'm discussing, they're always mentioned prior to the market even opening. We're so prepared that we know even if you miss a trade, there's another opportunity because we have multiple trade plans on the day. And whatever triggers first, that's what we execute. And that's why you'll see the consistency rate that we have on this channel that is unparalleled, it's unmatched. And again, this is something that I've been doing for the past 11 years and professionally, and on social media like YouTube, I've been doing now for 8 years. It's the exact same trade. I take the exact same trade every single day. It's just the price points change, and that's it. And either it's a long or a short, but it's the exact same trade every single day. That's why this strategy works, because the devil's in the details of the strategy. And if you keep it simple, it'll work throughout any market. It's just the variables that change, right? And that comes with experience. So, really nice shorts. And then, like I said earlier, that long on cues was an absolute gift. Absolute gift. So it sold straight off into the previous close. Now, it actually came into, and I'll get my crosshairs so then you can see it, but right there. So that is high of day from the previous day. Okay. So as it comes into that, that's where I wanted to start in. And it's funny, I actually got just slightly sidetracked dealing with some stuff on the back end that I had to take care of and almost missed this. So it started coming up and my execution looks great, but I really wanted it low and even lower to really apply some pressure on this trade and then just continuously work it. It didn't work out that way, but I still got a great execution, really nice entry, and locking in $5,895 on this trade. Now, I did end up stopping out, and I even said this thing will most likely ride and squeeze up. It just is developing ranges. And then once that range breaks, it's going to squeeze. And that's exactly what it did. So it ended up ripping faces off. And that's what I wanted. But it was too much of a grind. And the last time that I checked just before noon. And I was just like, okay, I don't want to hold it any longer. I'm going to be I'm too busy during the afternoon, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back and clear this position off. And just as a note, if you don't clear an options position off and it's on expiry day and you're profitable on that trade, you're going to own all of those contracts now converted into shares at that strike price. So in for an example, for those of you that may not know, so I took the 480 calls on this, okay? So I would have been the proud owner of, because I only had 10 contracts left, I would have had 1,000 shares at the price, the shares at the price of 480. Now, obviously, with the gap up after hours, everything would be fine. But regardless, as long as now, most people that are watching this, you probably wouldn't have an account size to be able to own 1,000 shares of Qs or SPY or whatever, and that's fine. But I've had this happen before where I've set a hard stop. It didn't get triggered for whatever reason. I must have fucked up setting the stop, and I was shorting AMD, and I had quite a bit, um, and it ended up executing that options, right? Exercising those options. And I was the proud owner of some AMD shorts. And it was executed at a price point that it ended up uh, gapping up the next morning. This is years ago. This is probably like 6 years ago. So it ended up gapping up, which was now I'm right on the position. And then right into the market open, it started selling off into my price point and I was able to get out. But it happens, guys. So just be aware. Don't let options contracts expire if you're profitable on that. Okay. Now, if you're not, they'll just clear the position. But like I said, most of you don't have anything to worry about because the broker's going to clear that for you because you don't have the buying power to basically withstand that. Right. So, long story short. But overall, I think the lesson on the day here today is, folks, there's so many opportunities during the day. And a lot of people, if they don't get the trade that they really wanted, they freak out and they start pissing and moaning and, oh man, I missed that trade. Oh, fuck. And they start doing all that. Just focus up. There's always another trade. There's so many opportunities during the day, even in a market. And this market is great right now because of what we're doing on the daily chart. But even last week where it was kind of in a weird area doing a dance where it didn't know if it wanted to sell off or hold, it was in that transitionary phase. There's so many opportunities and I see it constantly. You have to remember too, because I run a service at tricktrades.com, that I'm used to dealing with such a large pool size of day traders, new and struggling traders. So I see all this stuff. Like I've worked with over 40,000 traders at this point through the years. And I always see traders piss and moan about missing a trade. And it's such a strange concept. You can just tell it's just a lack of experience. And these are things that you all need to work on because you'll never miss a trade. There's no such thing as a missed trade. There really isn't, because whatever trade you miss, let's say it's a long, it's going to now give you that short if you're patient for it. And we all took this. Hundreds of us executed the exact same trades here. I walked them through. Fucking beautiful, man. Absolutely fantastic. So if you're a struggling trader and you're tired of just like spinning your wheels, come to tricktrades.com. Work with a coach that's actually going to work with you, that is going to know your name and is going to work with you and help you get through these hurdles. This morning at my time at 5 a.m., I'm doing a screen share, a live screen share one-on-one with a member that was having issues executing the trade. It was an hour-long meeting, all included with membership, by the way, to help them. Who else does that? Nobody else does that. They would charge you an absolute fortune for that. I don't do that. If you need help, I'm fucking here. And that's it. That's how I roll, man. So if you're here for the first time, please like the video. That's all I ask. You don't even have to subscribe. If you want to, that's great. Awesome. But if this is the second time viewing this channel and you're not subscribed, you have to subscribe and you have to like the video. I think that that's a fair trade-off for the level of free education that you're getting. Remember, this is just the free stuff that I'm willing to give away. There's lots of stuff that is for members only. Of course, this is a strategy that I developed. This isn't taken from anyone. I didn't learn from anyone. I was a member of one service for all of a week, years and years and years ago. It was absolute trash, and I left. And that's when I figured I'm on my own, and I got to figure this shit out. Now, obviously, things have changed through the years. This is over a decade ago, and there really wasn't much out there. There was your Tim Sykeses and all that bullshit. I'm not interested in that. I mean, that education is fucking antiquated, man. That does not work. Buying breakouts and shorting first red days, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. It does not work. That is dumb money tactics. Stop falling for that shit. It sounds good when you're inexperienced, but it doesn't work. So yeah, anyways, I know I'm rambling here. I hope you all had a wonderful day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Adios.